Lee O'Brien has very thankfully donated her face for us this morning. Thank you very much, Lee. Good to have you. Welcome,
well,
David.
Thank you. Nice to
meet
be here.
you. Thank you very, very much. We talk about the moisture of skin, but I mean, what can we determine it? I mean, just me wake up in the morning, can I know whether my skin is moist enough?
Well, I think there's a feeling of how moist the skin is. But what we've been able to develop is a device that uses bioelectric impedance technology that Sally's using here. And it sends a small level of electrical current right through the tissue, the superficial tissue of the skin, and it reads the resistance and the conductivity of the skin, and then that gives us a really consistent reading of the moisture content. And that's something that's measurable, something that we can work from to get a more accurate skincare prescription, and also something that we can measure to make sure that we're getting the kind of results and progress as those services, the skincare product usage is moving forward.
Yeah. I must be honest, I've never heard of it before. I mean, I've never known of the moisture levels of your skin being recorded. Whenever I go to a beautician, it's a matter of you fill out and say, how is your skin?
Exactly.
So it's a matter of you determining what your skin's like.
Right.
When did this all come about?
Well, we've been using this for well over a decade in our research and development, and we finally designed a small handheld tool that can be used by the skin therapist and the physicians in any location, anywhere. It's battery operated, so it's very cool in that regard. And we've sped up and modified the technology so it can be used quite quickly. And
yeah, I would say that is very fast. So
Very
how
fast.
is Lee's moisture?
She is a little on the light side, so we'd want to hydrate her a little bit.
Yeah.
But taking note that I have taken these moisture readings before we've actually done the cleansing or anything else. So I also like to do moisture readings before a service and then again after a service so that they can see the percentage of increase that we've been able to make with the treatment. Also, we may find out that a person is using a product that may not be the best for them.
Yeah, that's
so
a
we
big
would look
thing.
at their treatment plan and then also their home care protocol and plan that they're using as well.
So how long does it take
This
to do a
takes
moisture reading?
about an hour, or about a minute and a half.
A minute and a half to do a moisture reading?
Yeah, I was thinking about a whole treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, this just takes about a
Very
minute and a half.
A minute and a half,
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to determine, you know, whether you're dry or whether
Exactly.
you've got the right consistency.
Yes.
But why is it important? I mean, what's the reality?
Yeah. A good skin barrier function is optimum for the skin to be in its healthiest condition. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking at optimum hydration levels. And then the skin can function as well as it possibly can. If a skin is dehydrated or loss of moisture, all kinds of other things can happen. Breakdown of the upper layers, then ultimately the breakdown of the collagen and elastin in the skin, and a whole cascade of items can take place if the skin is not in good shape.
What age should we start looking after our skin? Because I think that's the big question. And people always sort of think, you know, when you're young, don't worry about it.
I think the younger that you start looking out for your skin, then
The
the
better.
better. Yeah, and there's no age that's too young to really start focusing in on your skin. And I think what we're doing also with this great piece of equipment is that we also educate the customer on the different zones of the face, because it's not unusual that through the 7 zones that we measure, that she'll have completely different readings in each one of the zones. So it gives us a better idea why we might want a specific cream at night, maybe something particular for the neck or something particular for the eye area. So it really gives us a lot more insight from a consumer standpoint of why and when to use the products, and then also something to shoot for. So it really gets the consumer a lot more excited and interested in their skincare, and that's a big part of it, just making them an active participant so they really own their own skincare.
You know, we always seem to be, when we talk about skin, we always think about women as opposed to men.
Right.
And I mean, I think these days it's actually becoming a bit of a fallacy, because I think men are taking as much care of their skin these days.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree.
well, I mean, I'm
It's,
speaking to a man, so, you know, that's the thing. Are you finding that more and more men are wanting to know and do things like this?
We are, and we're finding also that that's probably one of the biggest growing trends is the men in skincare and looking out for professional skincare services, interested in professional at-home product regimens and things like that. And men particularly are extremely interested also in the technology as well, the gadgetry. They like the measurements, they like the ideas, they like the tools that we're using to help penetrate products and everything else.
What are you using now? What is that?
So what this is an ultrasonic device. So it works almost kind of like an ultrasonic toothbrush or a clarisonic brush, except we have a flat metal peeling probe. And what that does is the stratum corneum, which is the outermost layer of the skin, is already naturally sloughing off. And we work with up to 26,000 hertz, so it's got a really rapid oscillation and vibration, and that helps to slough off that last little bit of stratum corneum, so we get a really clean and clear exfoliation. Now this is super important because when we go to penetrate our vital products, we want to make sure that as much of it can enter into the living tissue as possible. And normally a lot of the products will be absorbed in the stratum corneum as a protectant because it's body's natural protectant. So if we can remove as much as possible, all of a sudden we can increase the penetration power by quite a bit.
All right, that's absolutely amazing. Well, I was going to ask to have mine done on air, but I realize in a minute and a half in this interview is stealing a lot of time. So during the ad break, I'll get the moisture of my skin tested. I'll let you know what I'm doing. But this is amazing. So you're rolling this out. This is now new in South Africa and something we're going to have.
It's brand new and it's going to be available in salons and spas.
Excellent.
All over South Africa.
That is fantastic news. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, David.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure meeting
Yes,
you.
nice to meet you
Lee,
too.
thank you for donating your face. And Sally, wonderful demonstration. Thanks for being with us. All right, let's